Hello and welcome. I am Roy at Ninjazilla80, and today I will be reviewing the BanDai Godzilla Rampage Collection / Action Figure Series Godzilla vs. Destroyah Burning Godzilla figure. And yes, as you can see, this is a really awesome, super cool figure that you can grab at your local Walmart. And I do have to say, he's highly recommended, and I have some things to say about him. So, with that said, let's get started. And now, starting things off with the box, because you know we have to talk about really cool boxes on this channel when we have them. And as you can see, first and foremost, that I've obviously taken the figure out of the package. Well, that's obvious. But anyway, you can see right there we have a really cool picture of the 1995 Godzilla vs. Destroyah Burning Godzilla right there, looking really cool. And of course we have the name of the figure you are getting inside, Burning Godzilla. And we have Godzilla action figure, figurine, articuli Godzilla. I don't know why I say articuli. Articulation or articulated would be more of the correct word. But anyway, we have the Godzilla logo, we have the BanDai logo, we have ages 4+, which I'm more than sure a 4-year-old will lose all the pieces to the figure because you have to, well, partially put it together out of the package because it's not fully assembled in the package. I'll get to that later. And we have the Toho logo, the Godzilla Kaiju emblem. We have the Japanese name font for Godzilla there. And of course we have BanDai Namco at the top of the box. And we have the Godzilla title logo yet again. We have a warning label, choking hazard. So yeah, don't mistake this for a Snickers bar or a Slim Jim or Flamin' Hot Cheetos and try to eat it, because yeah, it's not going to go over so well in your stomach, so keep that in mind. And of course, the side of the box we have Burning Godzilla, and it pretty much says the same thing that you see on the front of the box here, just in bigger print. Other side of the box we have another really cool close-up picture of Burning Godzilla there, and we have the Godzilla name logo yet again. The back of the box, we have some pretty cool promotional pictures of the figure with the smoke effect parts there that you get with the figure. And we also see other figures you can get in the line. I have these three, but I don't have that one. And actually, the Burning Godzilla figure that you are getting inside the box here is actually the same exact, the 1991, just recolored. I will get into that later and explain why that is. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for the box. Now on to the figure. And now, here we have the BanDai Namco Godzilla Rampage Collection / Action Figure Series Godzilla vs. Destroyah Burning Godzilla right here before us in all of his burning Goji glory. As you can see, this is a pretty awesome looking figure. It is nicely detailed and it has some really good articulation, although it's not 100% suit accurate. It is still a highly well recommended figure that you can pick up at your local Walmart for around $25 or so. Now this is sold in the entertainment section around the video games and movies and stuff. Not in the toy aisle, because this is geared toward the older collector, even though it says 4+. But anyway, getting into detail, obviously you can see it has all the fire details, all the I don't know what you would call that, kind of like the area where his body is sort of superheated and melting down with all those like accents of like vibrant like reddish orange or orange and red going all throughout his chest, his belly, his thighs there, and on his shoulders, as well as his dorsal spines. And this is how I can tell this is actually the 1991 design and not the actual 1995. If you pay attention to the dorsal spines there, because the actual 1995 design has like a bigger dorsal spine coming out of the neck right there, and that is not present on this one. I can tell the dorsal spines are a perfect match to the 1991 design, because I'm going to grab my SH Monster Arts figure real quick, just to give you guys that reference. As you can see, how the pattern design for the dorsal spines matches up more with the 91 than what it does with the actual 95 suit. So that's how I know that one. This one is just a recolorization of the 1991 figure. But other than that, I still think it's really cool. But BanDai Namco is not the only company that has just done a recolorization of an already existing Godzilla figure and just turned it into Burning Godzilla, because NECA done the same thing with the 1994 Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla design, and just made a Burning Godzilla out of that one and just re-released it as Burning Godzilla in a recolorization. So it's pretty much the BanDai did the same thing here. But anyway, other than that, if we bring them closer, we can get a good look at those burning red eyes of his. He has those golden irises with the very vibrant black pupils there, like Burning Godzilla does have. This does have some really nice texturing to it. You can feel all the bumps and ridges and scales going throughout his body, although it's not nearly as detailed as an SH Monster Arts or a NECA figure. I mean, SH Monster Arts or a Hiya Toys figure. Or, yeah, a NECA figure as well. We can go there. It's still pretty cool for what it is, and I still enjoy it for what it is and appreciate it for what it is. As far as articulation, the head can bob up and down. We can rock it left to right. We can look right. We can look left. And, of course, we can cranium revolve a full 360 and the opposite way. The shoulders are on ball joints, so we can bring them out in a T-pose. We can put them back down, and we can swivel them all the way around a full 360 and the opposite way, of course, because, yeah, they are removable. These figures do come apart. Pieces are interchangeable, so if you do collect multiple figures, you can mix and match. If you want to, I will make a video about that at a later date. But anyway, we do have not a double joint. We do have a hinge joint in the elbow, and we can swivel that elbow all the way around a full 360 as well as a wrist swivel, because we do have a ball joint in the wrist, and we can rock it forward and back. Same is true with the other arm, as you are witnessing. We pretty much have symmetrical articulation all throughout the figure. We do have a ball joint in the hips, so we can rotate this hip all the way around a full 360. We have a hinge in the knee. We also have a ball joint in the foot. Same is true with the other leg. The only problem with this one, if you try to rotate the opposite leg all the way around a full 360, it pops off for some reason. But this leg just doesn't do that. I just don't understand that. As you can see, we do have a hinge in this knee as well as a ball joint in the foot. And of course, getting to tail articulation, the tail is comprised of 3 segments, and you do have to put this together out of the box. You do have to attach this piece to this piece, and you have to attach this piece to the tail to that piece. So you got to put like half the tail together, and then you have to put the tail on his bootay like so, and getting it out of the box. But anyway, you could move the tail like a little bit, but not a whole lot, so you don't have nearly as much articulation as you would with a Hiya Toys or an SH Monsters figure, but it's still okay and pretty good for what it is. You have this part, and this part you can wiggle around and rotate if you want to. Not a whole lot of articulation there, but still, it's doable. And of course, has really cool dorsal spines as well, because yeah, you can't have Godzilla without talking about his dorsal spines. That is a signature trait and a well-known detail that you can't miss. He's the king of all monsters, so he wears those dorsal spines like a crown. But anyway, getting into accessories with this figure, you do have the these Burning Godzilla smoking effect parts. So you put this one, the larger one, around his thigh right there. You take this one and it goes around the back of his neck like so. And the last one, let's see if I can get it right, goes around the top of his shoulder right there. And that's pretty much how he looks with the smoke effect parts. Now, if you're going to pose them around, I mean, these are not going to stay on very well if you plan to pose the figure and do stop motion with it. So, if you're going to be doing stop motion and posing it, I'm telling you now, these pieces will not stay on. They're going to fall off like nobody's business. They just stay on with a little bit, like a small amount of friction. That's about it, not a whole lot, so they do tend to fall off very easily, so keep that in mind. But other than that, I still think this is a really awesome figure. Like I said, it's highly recommended, although I can't give this one a perfect score, but I still have to give it a well-deserved score. So if I have to give this figure a final score, I have to give it a drum roll, please. And when it comes to the BanDai Namco Godzilla Rampage Collection / Action Figure Series Godzilla vs. Destroyah Burning Godzilla, I have to give this figure a well-deserved, absolutely honest 9 out of 10. Not a perfect figure. Not exactly knocking it out of the park, but it's still good for what it is. Still highly recommended. It's still a figure you're going to be happy with. Has a lot of playability, and overall, it's hard to go wrong with these. So, if you're a Godzilla fan and you're looking for some really awesome action figures that you can actually pose around and play with, that has good posability and at least somewhat good detail, these are definitely the better figures to go with over the Playmates figures, which is also sold at your local Walmart, but those are in the toy aisle. I would definitely suggest going with the BanDai Namco Rampage Collection / Action Figure Series. Yeah, it goes by 2 different names. Because, yeah, I really like these. I started picking these up like last year, and come to find out they were actually better than what I originally thought. And, yeah, I'm glad I started picking these up. Now, of course, I know you could also get these from, like, Big Bad Toy Store and everything. But for some reason, like, Big Bad Toy Store is charging double the price of what they are compared to what you can get them at your local Walmart. So I would just suggest grabbing them from Walmart if you want to save some money. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about this figure. That pretty much concludes it for this review. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated. And to wrap things up, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And pretty much, yeah, that's it. As always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay positive, stay powered up, and peace out.